Yes, welcome back, everybody. I'm ready for this. I hope you are ready for this. We are on Railbirds TV, and we are at the 2026 Derby City Classic 9-ball division, and this is round number 13. I am your host, Scott Frost, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you that are joining us tonight. What a match we have here. Mano y mano, one world champion Joshua Filler versus another world champion Shane Van Boening. I tell you what, look at this. Look at the Fargo right out of the gate. 846 SVB, 858 Joshua Filler. He won the lag. This is a race to 9. And they don't waste any time. It's winner break from here. 9-ball racked on the spot. They do break from the break box. 3-foul rule is in effect. Jump cues are allowed. It only takes 15 rounds to win this event. Both players have a loss, and I am not going to divulge on who those players are that defeated these two. Looking to the upper left, I think he's got enough. I'll watch the lower right corner. Pretty fortunate there. You catch that ball on the side that thick, you think you're going to go into the drink. Does have the upper right corner. This is kind of a blind ball he's shooting at, so a real tester in game number 1. Yeah, he's overcut this by a country mile. Did he get away with it? Negatory. So, prior to this match, I did talk to SVB. I will divulge a little information here. He is guaranteed the master of the table. Still has to play the finals of the one pocket. But he did tell me he's a little bit worn out. And here we go. What is going on here? SVB never misses that ball, but that could prove to be devastating early in game number 1. Because the guy at the table is an absolute assassin. Yeah, anywhere towards the middle here. He's feeling real good to draw in between those two balls versus just come one rail up. And look at how tight he got to the 5. So he's very comfortable with the equipment. They've been playing 7 straight days on this stuff. And by this time, they're either real fatigued or real dialed in. And you gotta believe that Filler is dialed in. In my opinion, and I've touched on this with many people, I think he is the best pool player on the planet. I do think that he's also probably the most natural player on the planet that's really matured over the last year and a half, 2 years with his defensive game and shot selection. Game number 1, gonna go to Joshua Filler, a.k.a. The Killer. And once again, this is a race to 9. Talking about Fargo ratings, Joshua Filler is at the top of that list. 858 Feder Gorst knocking on the door. 847 Copigny. 847 Shane Van Boening knocking on the door at 846. And to round it off, Koping Chung tied up with SVB at 846. That is your top 5 in the world with the Fargo rate. Filler heads above the rest, leading Gorst by 11 points in the Fargo field. The 1 down, the 2 down, a very sweet look at the red 3. That tells me he's looking at the inside ball. If he's trying to get there, I would be surprised if he doesn't end up drawing this, but he'd have to beat the 5. But down here in this lower left corner, he's free. Even if he runs into the 6 or 9, he might just gamble a little bit. Unless this angle's steeper than I think, which is possible. And if it is steeper, then I can see why he would go forward. Yeah, so he's really looking from up top. So that tells me this angle's probably so steep that he's going into the 8 or the 5 at best if he draws the ball. Well, that 2 ball. Okay, he is coming back. I felt like he had to gamble this way a little bit. Oh, he had plenty of room. The 9. The 9. Well, I was going to say, is the 2 ball that Shane missed in game number 1 going to come back to haunt him? But it looks like he's going to have another opportunity at the table early. So nothing clean here right away by either side. Pretty good. You've got to give him credit there just to create the distance. He was trying to use the 5 and 8. Does Shane stay aggressive and attack, or does he just try to use that little mini wall there with the 5, 8, 7? I think you've got to attack here. You've got to take it from this guy. Five-time U.S. Open champion, World 9-ball champion, World 8-ball champion, well over 100 professional titles. I think he's going to the lower right here. Maybe with a backdoor safety behind the 7. That's short. This is opened up again. Yeah, anywhere up top he's fine. He doesn't have to beat the right side pocket. He can stay above it. Is the fatigue playing a bit of a role with Shane, or is he a little intimidated? Right? I mean, you've got to, or we have to ask ourselves that question. Shane, 41 years old, Filler in his prime. Very contrasting styles with the deliveries of the cues. Filler, a big follow through. SVB stops on impact. No other pro stops the Q-tip on impact at the elite level. There is not one of them. You'll notice the number at the bottom of the screen. Filler, 75% favorite to win this match. I've said this over and over. Fargo numbers seem to be incorrect a lot of times when I'm commentating these matches, but they always seem to turn out pretty darn accurate. Filler, leading 2-0. And the open bridge break, probably for a little bit more control. And I believe the upper right is available, but he could go to the upper left. This is where I feel like his game is really matured. If he's not feeling it, he will play safe. He's going. I mean, I just didn't expect it. A couple of pretty odd misses from both of these guys early in each rack. A little quick in that backswing there as well, which you don't see from Filler very often. So I wonder if fatigue playing a role here too. This is the triathlon of pool. Got to use the 5 here, or do you come all the way over behind the 9 or the 3? And he's trying to go up to the corner. He's just probably going to leave this open. No, he didn't. He's gotten a little lucky there. Yeah, and he's using his full cue here. Probably going to spear this in. This is what happens. We talk about the overcut when you're jumping a ball. It's because the back arm is straight up in the air. But what happens is if it's not directly in line with the shot, the back arm, when it's high, it wants to come outward a little bit, which swipes the cue ball and causes the thin hit. So whenever you're jumping a ball, wow, and he's left this wide open. Whenever you're jumping a ball, be cautious of the back arm being directly in line at all times, especially on the delivery. So maybe the heart rate just way up for Shane, timing a little bit off. Yeah, really just kind of gambled there. Wanted to knock the 2 home, which he did. Could cinch him under the 5 and go to the side. Yes, I wonder how this is going to continue to go, because it doesn't seem like neither of these players at their best at the moment. Probably a little fatigue, heart rate up. They know what this is worth. Got to make solid contact here. Wow. Shane's made more errors early in this match than he's probably made the entire event. I mean the entire 9-ball event. 4 big errors from SVB early. And we've only played 3 games. AJ Manis, I talk about him all the time, from the Philippines. You guys know who he is, 18 years young. He is the only player that I've seen at a young age, kind of like Filler, watch out, kind of like Filler when he was younger, with maybe a more natural stroke. Probably the most natural player I've ever seen is AJ Manis. This kid here, there's no question he is the best player in the world and the most natural player I've ever seen. Jason Shaw at the top of that list as well as far as natural ability. Federgorst, the complete opposite. Federgorst, a very hard-working player, does a ton of work from above, really relies on his fundamentals, really relies on his work ethic and his training. Filler relies on his instinct. 3-0. And it's the open bridge again. He is not hitting these very hard, but he's getting great spreads, and that's exactly what you want. Going thin to the corner. Just crashing into everything. Just gotta gamble at times, especially playing 9-ball. Sure looks like he can see enough of this ball. Wants to go up towards the 8 or in between the 8 and 3. Oh, the speed's perfect here. He's really, in the last, like I said, 1.5 to 2 years, kind of slowed his timing down, his pace around the table down a little bit. Was a real gunslinger for the first several years of his career out in public. But now, just dialed everything in and is that much more consistent. And this is just common knowledge. On tighter equipment, he's going to play defense at the right time. He doesn't take a lot of chances, whereas he used to be a big risk taker because he's such a great shot maker. This is starting to slip away from SVB. 4-0, Josh Filler. 2018 World 9-ball champion. World Pool Masters champion in 2019. He's won so many tour events. It's insane. Yeah, look at the open bridge, but this time the one high and dry. All right, Shane just does not seem dialed by any means, obviously due to a few mistakes he's just made, but I'm talking more about how he's approaching the table. It just doesn't seem as confident and precise, I should say. See a little bit of hesitation. Yeah, something is definitely off. This is pool. It is the toughest sport in the world, in my opinion. So many variables. And it's so mental. Does it pass the lower left? The purple 4? Looks like it does. Is he going to pound? Pretty smooth. Overrun the mark, though. Looking to lay him up here, I believe. Oh, he's going to go at the 5 and just take the steep on the 3 to the lower left. He's actually playing this table like a big bar table, which I think is a correct way to play it. This is a beautiful blue labeled diamond table, 9 foot, 4.5 inch, or quote unquote pro cut pockets with the tour blue Simonis cloth, and that is 860. Then of course the Aramith balls. These are the Duramiths. Best pool balls in the world. There is no question. Oh my, is he looking to edge this? It must not have gone to the lower right. Is he going to have to cinch Shane up here, or does it play to the left side? He is typically not this aggressive. He'd already locked him up behind the 8 if he wasn't. But I think it's a combination of fatigue and feeling great. But he's playing the 8 in the lower left. Wow, how did that ball fall in? He way overcut the 8 there. We might get another look at that here in a moment. But I did not think the 8 had a chance to fall there. The speed is the only... My goodness. Yeah, he is playing this like a big bar table. There is no question. The speed, the only reason the 8 fell. And I'm here to call it what it is. It's not been exactly clean. It's been a little scratchy, if you ask me. Here's another look. Look at how close to this third diamond the 8 hits. In between, basically, the third diamond and the pocket, it's the speed that allowed that ball to fall. He raised his hand up in apology. And then this one, almost worse, in my opinion. Listen, I'm not knocking him. In my opinion, greatest shot maker on the planet, most naturally talented player outside of Manis. But when you hit them that bad and they still fall, you got to talk about it. Look at this break shot. Quickly down on the ball. My goodness, this is a roadmap to round number 14. Coming all the way out. It's falling a little thin here. Maybe a bit loosey-goosey. Is he banking this ball or cutting it? Oh, he could hold no problem. Milking that just a touch. Very good. This is the only angle I have to work with. It's the best angle we can get. Nothing wrong with it, but we don't have any others. Can be misleading at times. Filler with a commanding lead. 6-0. When will the bleeding subside? Do me a favor, guys. We're already on YouTube. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, please. Railbirds TV bringing you all the action, doing everything they can. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting us. All right. He'd love a repeat. Wow. That break is really devastating. Look at this. A tap into the right middle. Yeah, where is it? Where is the trouble? Does he come 2 rails tight out of the corner or go up past? Yeah, he's gone up past. I mean, this looks pretty good unless the side pocket comes into play. He can just come down. Speed needs to be okay here. Speed is perfect. In the prime of his life, in the prime of his pool career, Joshua Filler, 28 years young, 13 years younger than his predecessor, Shane Van Boening, who is 41. And he is moving 7-0, Joshua Filler. And he's silenced the crowd because you can rest assured there's a lot of people behind this camera. For me, it's the break shot, the open bridge, the pace at which he's hitting it. He's probably within a fraction of a second every time at the same speed. And if you'll notice, he's really getting a look at almost every ball on the table, and ideally that's what you would like with the cut break. You can just stop right here. 5 goes from anywhere in the middle of the table. The 4 is next to the upper right. Wiggled it home. That looks nice. Just doesn't look like much going to slow him down at this point. And Shane knows this. He's been down this road a million times, right? You give up the chances early that you had, it's typically going to come back to really haunt you. Look at the speed here. Just absolutely ideal. All the way down and up. This is a race to 9, and this potentially could be one of the quickest ones in history. Filler to the cue ball before it stops rolling. And Filler on the hill. Joshua Filler 1 away from advancing to round number 14. He does have a loss. I will not tell you who beat him because we don't want to spoil the info. Joshua Filler leading 8-0 and to break. One of the most decorated players on the planet. He's done it all. He's won it all. His better half, Pia Filler, one of the best female players in the world. Together, playing Scotch doubles, a male and female team. I don't know who would be better. Using the 9 to hold the 2, not very friendly. Not very friendly. Shane has to have felt like he's been hit with a Mack truck. Or by a Mack truck. With one, by one. What's the difference? And here we go. 3 does not pass the 7, so he's going to have to make a move there. Can he just stay low of the 3 and carry the 7 in? And that's what he's looking at here. The worst case scenario is getting too high on this ball, I believe. And he's gotten pretty high on it. So now he's going to have to paper clip it. Well, he's made it look fairly easy, folks. This is ridiculous. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I did not ever dream in a million month of Sundays that Joshua Filler, 2018 World 9-Ball Champion, would defeat Shane Van Boening in round number 13, 9 games, 2-0. It's an absolute whitewash. Filler into round number 14, SVB, sayonara. He is the winner of the Master of the Table. Filler looking to be a favorite to win the 9-ball. Thank you all so much for tuning into Railbirds TV. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. And thanks so much for listening to me. Have a good night.